Hello all, we should be live. Hi Grace.
Hi. So welcome to our talk on sociology at Leicester. I am the admissions tutor for sociology. So if you are talking to anyone about admissions, if you're sending emails, my email address will be at the end, or even getting in touch on our Instagram, anything like that, it's normally me that you will be talking to. So yeah, you can see my face now. So with that, I will get started with our presentation. So hopefully you should all be able to see on screen the slides. So why Leicester? First of all, we're obviously very highly ranked in terms of league tables. So currently 27th best in the UK. It's nominated 9th most affordable city to live in. So lots of options there in terms of accommodation, living with friends, perhaps living in halls, or perhaps living in a shared house. We're 30th in the UK in the Guardian league tables. 94% employability within 6 months after graduation. I actually think that's gone up now to 96 for sociology. So there you go, improving year on year. And I'll be talking to you a little bit later about the types of jobs that you might go into as a sociologist. We're also known for sustainability and also the amount that we've invested into our campus. So hopefully you'll get an opportunity at some point to come and have a look round our University of Leicester campus, and you'll be able to see all the kind of nice, shiny new buildings and things like that when you come. There's also an opportunity to opt in for scholarships. So particularly, for example, if you get slightly above the grades that you need, you might be able to apply for a scholarship for that. But there's also sports scholarships available, music scholarships, and there's also a mature student scholarship. But there's many scholarships available. What I would recommend doing is either get in touch with myself, like I said, I'll leave my details at the end, or instead go to le.ac.uk/scholarships for more details. You also have, if you would like to come and live at the University of Leicester in our halls, in our accommodation, by accepting us as a firm offer, or firm choice, you will be guaranteed a room in halls. So if you would like to go and have a look at the types of rooms that are available and which ones you might want to live in, the prices of them, that kind of thing, there's a YouTube link here which will be available after this presentation, but also there's lots of information again on the website. So why sociology at Leicester? There's so many reasons, but first of all, sociology at Leicester, well, Leicester's one of the best places to study sociology. First of all, it's one of the most diverse cities in the UK. So we've got over 50 ethnicities here and over 70 languages. So really, really diverse population, really varied age range as well. And our student population makes about 12% of Leicester. It's also seen as one of the safest cities in the UK. And in terms of diversity as well, what that actually means is there's always something to celebrate in the city. So lots of events going on. Diwali, for example, is the biggest celebration here in Leicester compared with anywhere else in the world, apart from India, obviously. But yeah, it's the biggest celebration outside India for Diwali, and lots of other celebrations going on here at Leicester. And all of this diversity is also reflected in your degree programme. So what we say about Leicester is it's a space where everyone belongs. So let me tell you a little bit more about sociology at Leicester specifically. Why sociology? First of all, obviously I'm completely biased, but sociology is a chance to study something that really excites you. So it's an opportunity to have 3 years studying something that you really, really enjoy. And you get to create new knowledge. So it's not just a lecturer talking at you, we are co-creating knowledge together. And particularly in your 3rd year, there's an opportunity to be involved in real world research where you work with either organisations or an academic on a real world research project, which could result in publications, policy making, etc. So you really do have an opportunity to not just create new knowledge, but actually have impact, which is pretty cool. You'll be connecting to real world issues. So all the things that you see in the newspaper, on the news, on social media, they're the kinds of things that you will be studying in sociology. And what we recommend is that you kind of learn this technique called observe or do, record, reflect and repeat. So you'll be doing lots of things where you're observing what's going on in the world, observing what you're seeing, both in your social life, but also in your personal life, but also in your university life, and learning to reflect on that through a sociological lens and really learning how to kind of locate yourself within those social processes and to think more critically about the social worlds and issues. So hopefully sociology will not just lead to a more meaningful life and the option to kind of have impact with your degree, but also lots of flexibility when it comes to the jobs that you might want to do afterwards, because we have a really kind of varied range of assessments and you'll have a varied range of knowledge. So what that means is actually you become adaptable and much more employable. So Leicester is one of the first sociology departments in the UK. It was founded in 1952, and what you've got here is an opportunity to really learn from experts in their field. So we've got a really vibrant academic community. So that will be your lecturers, but it also includes you as university students, so as undergraduate students. We have master's students and we also have PhD students, and we have support staff. So our support staff are really helpful when it comes to mitigating circumstances, for example. So you might have things that happen in your life where you might need an extension on an assignment or something like that. Our support staff are really there to support you with those kind of things. And Leicester University Sociology Department was actually #1 for our research outputs in the Research Excellence Framework in 2021. So that's a pretty significant achievement. You really are going to be taught by experts in the field and people that are doing the research every single day that they are talking to you about. So it's really up to date and current teaching. And like I said, yeah, so the employment rate has gone up. So last year it was 97% of graduates were employed within 6 months of graduation. So that's a pretty good statistic. And here's just an example of some of the things that our researchers look at. So we've got Jason's book here on learning to smoke, and Jason has gone on to do things around vaping. So he predicted how smoking was going to transition into smokeless smoking, and actually predicted the kind of rise of vaping. So that's really interesting and exciting research. We've got Britain and terrorism. So this is Michael's book, and there's a 3rd year module that looks at that. We've got Paul's book on football and ethnicity. And again, there's a 3rd year module on football, and Paul does some stuff on ethnicity in the 1st year as well. Michelle's work. So Michelle does lots of work with young people, with myself, on digital media, and also looking at mental health. So something that lots of young people are interested in, social media, for example, and what impact that might be having on their health. And we've also got David's work on migration and international labour migration, and also Laurie and John's work on sociology through film and literature. Again, that's an optional module in your 2nd year. So we also have lots of students that have given us videos to show you just a little bit about what is it really like to be a university student here at Leicester. And Mia is actually a PhD student now in the department, so she's now doing some teaching alongside her PhD, but she started here as an undergraduate. One thing I should say about Leicester is it is a place that many people come as an undergraduate and they really enjoy it, and therefore they stay on for postgraduate study, so whether that's a master's or whether it's going on to do a PhD. Okay, so just so you guys have got an opportunity to ask questions at the end, what I'm going to do is skip over this video, move on to the next slide, and hopefully you will have an opportunity to have a look at it on our Instagram page a little bit later on. So it looks like we're still having some technical difficulties in terms of getting back to the PowerPoint presentation. So what I'll try and do is just give you a little bit of a flavour of what it's like to study sociology at Leicester. So what I think makes us really unique and distinct is, first of all, when we're looking at our modules and our teaching styles, it's not something where you're just going to kind of be spoken at. So it's not the lecture where there'll be a lecturer stood at the front and just talking at you for hours on end. It's really interactive. So we really pride ourselves on having a more practical approach to sociology. And what that means is doing sociology. So it's a really hands-on learning experience. And what that means is, particularly from 1st year, you really grow in confidence. So by the time it gets to the end of your 3rd year, you're really confident in applying your sociological knowledge in lots and lots of different ways. So those of you that are kind of worried about the amount of exams or essays that you might have to do, that's unlikely for your sociology degree. Actually, there's a whole wide range of assessments. So if you're worried about exams, actually there's a way that you can avoid doing exams technically. So you could choose modules, for example, that don't have exams as assessments. So We have, in one of my modules, we do a photo voice assessment, which is effectively you telling your narrative as a young person and relating it back to everything that we've taught you about youth sociology. Here we go. We're coming back to the presentation now. So how will you study? Here we go. This is what I was telling you about. We've worked perfectly here. So you do have quite small class sizes. Our sociology course here at Leicester is fairly small, which means that you get better attention to the individual. So that kind of staff-student ratio is fairly good. And it does mean that you really get to know the people that are teaching you in the modules, but also you really get to know your peers. So you really get to know your sociology fellow students. You'll be doing lots of activities with them in class. And again, that just means that if you've got any problems, it's easier to go to a lecturer that actually you've been involved with activities with, that you've probably spoken to quite a lot in class, rather than being in a room full of, say, 200 people. We have much smaller class sizes. So we're really about bridging that gap between school and university. Actually, we work really closely with you to make sure that everyone's really confident in their sociological skill set. By the end of your first year, you'll have applied your knowledge in so many different ways through different types of assessment, but also through activities. And we do field trips, so you're not always in the classroom, for example. So it's something that you will get much more support within your first year. And imagine it like a scaffolding process. So we slowly kind of take the scaffolding away, and eventually you kind of stand up and do it on your own. But it's really good for employability skills. You will have face-to-face lectures and seminars, as you probably expect, and they do work in a slightly different format. So seminars tend to be slightly smaller and lectures tend to be slightly bigger. All of our teaching is research informed. So like I said, all the people that are teaching you are researching what they're teaching you. So I do lots of work on health. I do lots of work with young people in particular. So for me, I work with mostly teenagers and those up to the age of 25. And I also do lots of work on health and drug related things. So you'll see me for the youth module in second year, for drugs in third year, and I teach you a lot of research methods as you go through the degree as well. And I'm really here for the creative methods. So you'll see lots and lots of different things from me in teaching. So like I said, we're really about sociology in practice and being creative. So beyond essays, beyond exams, you might have walking the field as one of your assessments, for example, which is effectively in our live sociology class, we take you out to different parts of Leicester, Leicestershire. So you really get to know the county, but you really start to see it and understand it through a sociological lens. So for example, you might go to an old mining town, you might go to the football stadium, we take you to a mosque. So there's lots of different ways of thinking about places sociologically and the people that inhabit them and how we interact with each other as people and how we interact with places, etc. We also have life writing, concept mapping. I do some Instagram lives, so I do that for my modules, but I also do it just to troubleshoot any questions people might have, particularly for the research project and also for anything related to the degree kind of more generally. So thinking a little bit about the degree structure. In your first year, you will have 6 core modules. In your second year, you have 2 core modules and 4 optional modules. So you really do get a pretty kind of wide choice and a lot of ownership over your degree. So it's completely up to you what you pick. So when I said earlier, like you can kind of choose which assessments you will have, you can also choose your topic. So you can choose to specialise. So for example, perhaps you're really interested in working with young people in the future. You might choose to specialise and do a youth module in your second year and then perhaps do something similar in your third year. So you really do become an expert in that area. Or other students tend to kind of keep it really broad and they choose a whole wide range of options. So it really is completely up to you. When you move into a third year, you have 2 core modules, so they're the ones that everyone does. You have 3 optional modules, so again, that you choose from. And then for your research project, you have a traditional dissertation, which is something which is fairly common at most universities, or a real world research project, which is completely different and unique to Leicester. So that's the module that I was talking about previously, which is really good for employability, and it's where you work really closely with either an organisation or an academic on a live research project, which is pretty exciting. So what will you study? just to give you kind of a flavour of the range of things. So it really is wide ranging, but you might look at things like class, racism, youth culture, sustainability or environmental sociology. We have a cosmic sociology module, so thinking about sociology in space, atmospheres and so on. You might be thinking about sports, so football and other sports in sociology. You might be thinking about drug use or health more broadly, or vaccinations, all those different types of things. You might be thinking about gender, inequalities, lots and lots of wide-ranging things that you might cover here at Sociology in Leicester. So, what does that look like actually in the modules? In our year 1 modules, we have sociology and practice, interpreting key texts, power, privilege and diversity, society and transformation, race, ethnicity and racisms in Britain, and ways of researching. So you get a really, really good grounding and combination of sociological topics, but also sociological skills. So again, something that's quite unique to Leicester is we have a Leicester Award embedded into our degree, which is effectively a skills training programme. So you will be learning particular skills, whether it's communication skills, written skills, debating skills, negotiation, all the different types of things that are really attractive to employers are embedded within your degree. So you'll be learning how to transfer your sociological knowledge in ways that will be meaningful and powerful to you after your degree. We do have 2 degree programmes. So the first one, where you can see all the black text here, that's for our BA Sociology programme, and where you can see the blue text at the bottom, so the Introduction to Criminology and Theories of Crime and Criminality, that's for our BA Sociology with Criminology degree. So we've got 2 BA degree programmes here. So our year 2 modules, we have 4 core modules for this. So one of them is sociological theory explored. I think as soon as people hear the word theory, people tend to panic. But like I said, we've got a really, really practical approach. So the module's quite fun and it's applied. So you're not just kind of reading out of old fusty books. I think that's what people think of when they think of theory, but we're really thinking about how we apply that theory and why it's important and how it can produce impact or change our perspective or perhaps how we think about things, which could have a really useful impact in the world more generally. We have 2 research modules, so one is statistics and the other is qualitative and creative research methods. We have bringing sociology to work, which again is really, really popular in terms of employability. And that is a core module now on the sociology programme, not on the sociology with criminology. And there's different ways that you can do it. So you can either find somewhere to volunteer, and you would use that as your kind of reflective piece. So you reflect on your work placement sociologically, or you can use your part-time job if you already have one, or you might do some shadowing or something. So there's various different ways that you can build up the hours that you need for that one in terms of working and being able to reflect on that practice. And for the criminology programme, we have punishment and rehabilitation, which is a core module for that, plus 2 optional modules. So you see there's a really, really large list there of optional modules that you can choose from. So we've got gender and society, for example, youth, young adulthood and society, literature and film, cosmic sociology, a kind of whole wide range. And the live sociology there, which is core on the BA with sociology with criminology degree, that's in the field. So that's the one where we take you out into Leicester. And yeah, you will learn lots and lots about things that you probably never noticed or thought about in sociological ways, or perhaps never placed as much meaning or thought on. So yeah, really, really good opportunity to chat to your lecturers and to reflect on things outside of the university itself. And that's available on both programmes, just core on the sociology with criminology. So here are the final year modules. So again, you can see that there's a huge choice when it comes to optional modules. So you've got football, you've got autobiographical society. Some people absolutely love that module. So it's really thinking about your own experience and how you can kind of relate sociological concepts to that. Using your own experience as a starting point would be a good way to explain it, to learn and understand sociology. You've got the identity troubles module, social psychology, which is really popular with those that did psychology at A-level, sociology of health and illness. You've got drugs and society, migration, social movements, education and social justice, And then on the sociology of criminology, you've got hate crime, violence, criminal justice and mental disorder. So a huge range to pick from there. And what about in terms of supporting your studies? So again, I think this is something that is quite unique to Leicester, is that we really do have a fantastic support network for our students. So we have a dedicated personal tutor in your subject area. So you'll be set up with a personal tutor literally the moment that you arrive, and your personal tutor is kind of like your first port of call. So whatever you're worried about, anything you don't understand, or if you've lost something, perhaps your loan hasn't come in, anything like that, you can go to your personal tutor. And even if they don't know the answer, they will be the person that helps you find the person that has the answer. So they're definitely really, really good contact. They're often someone that you build a really good relationship with, and they'll normally be your reference after university. They might help you pick modules, things like that, or even become your dissertation supervisor. So it really is an important relationship as you go through. We have a fantastic support office, as I noted at the beginning. So if you're ever struggling with an assignment, perhaps you need an extension, or perhaps you need to miss a class, or something's happened in your life, they'll be the people that you contact. We also have a senior tutor. So the senior tutor is someone who's kind of above the personal tutor, and they manage all the personal tutors, sorry. And they are for all undergraduate students. So they're also someone that you can go to. And beyond that, you've also got like your module leaders. And like I said, the big kind of community that we have of PhD students, master's students, other sociology students and so on. There's an opportunity to have your say as a course rep. So there's lots and lots of ways that you can kind of get your voice heard. And we have meetings with our course reps. So it's like a student and staff meeting where you get your voices heard, kind of we go away and try and think of a solution to the problem, or we come up with one together and then we report back with how that's gone. And you get lots and lots of detailed feedback in your work. So in mine, I give voice notes as well as text. So you don't necessarily just have to kind of read text on your feedback for whatever assignment it might be. I also do a voice note alongside it, which I think is particularly helpful to students because obviously some of us are audio learners in comparison to reading something. So yeah. And we have wellbeing support sessions as well, which I should say at the beginning of every semester. So in October and in January, you will also be supported with those. We also have a student welfare service and an accessibility service. So if you are a student with a disability, so perhaps someone with dyslexia or ADHD or autism or any other learning support need, you can go to the Accessibility Centre, and again you'll be lined up with a tutor there who will be able to support you for the duration of your degree. We also have a career development service where they can look at your CV, they can help you do job searches, they can help you apply for jobs, they can help you get summer work if you want to get some training in your second year or perhaps even your first year. And we have many other support services available for you, so such as the Student Learning Development Transitions Toolkit, which is really helpful to think about how your essay style might change from A-level or from BTEC to university, presentation skills, and you can book on one-on-one appointments with academic librarians and also those support staff in the Student Learning Development Zone. So you also do have an option to study abroad if that's something that you're interested in, and you can see on the screen there's lots and lots of options for this. So we have in the US, we have California and Florida. In Europe, we have Sweden, Prague, and we also have the Netherlands. So if you're interested in any of those options, definitely do go and have a look on the website or feel free to get in touch with me. And in terms of developing skills, again, I think this is where sociology is really unique. So first of all, we have the Embedded Leicester Award. So like I said, it's kind of like training you all the way through your degree programme. So every single year you will have a module that is focused on skills, but you will be applying your knowledge from other modules into that module. And you'll also have lots and lots of different types of assessment. So again, you're getting used to applying your knowledge in many different ways. We have a sociology and practice module in first year, which really is invested in skills. The live sociology is kind of getting you to think on your feet and to get you to think differently, observe, and really to kind of look through a sociological lens. And we obviously have the sociological placement in second year, and we have the real world research project in our third year and dissertation. So really good for developing your research skills. So what work-related transferable skills might you develop? Research design, data collection, data analysis. So obviously you'll get all those from your research project. We have writing research reports. So again, that's the type of assessment that you might do. You might do presentations, and we also do presentations online, so not as just face-to-face, but you might do recorded videos, which might include a PowerPoint, it might include some audio, lots of different things. You'll do group work, obviously independent work. And critical analysis is something that you get right from the beginning in a sociology degree. And photography is an option, particularly in your second year. There's a couple of modules where you'll play around with photography for the photo voice and also for the film and literature module. And visual analysis, so as well as just analysing text, so which might be useful for analysing policies and things like that in future, you will also get an opportunity to analyse photos, archival material and those types of things. So what about career possibilities? We're coming to the end of our presentation now, and this is a question that we always get asked. So what types of things do people do? And this changes year on year. So there's a whole range of things that people do, from human resources management, police officers, transport officers, social workers is probably something that people expect from sociology, or teaching is always something that people expect, or social research. But there's a much wider range than that. So civil service, for example, some people even go into finance, but operations management, marketing is quite a popular one, events management, sustainability or environmental kind of management, whole wide range. And again, a lot of that will depend on the types of modules that you choose to take. So we have a slogan at Leicester called Citizens of Change, and what we suggest is that you become what the world needs. And what our degree tries to do is train you for jobs that aren't even available yet, so things that we haven't even heard of yet. We're trying to think ahead, and that's why we teach you such a wide range of skills, such a wide range of topics, and really allow you to take ownership over them so you really can learn to lead. So thank you very much for everyone that's attended this presentation. There's lots of ways that you can keep in touch. So obviously you can go and have a look on the website if you'd like to, but you can also follow us on Instagram at LeicesterSoc, or you can drop me a DM on there and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And my email address is also on the slide as well. So it's just gs300@le.ac.uk. But in the meantime, I wish you all the very best. Good luck with all the studying and good luck with choosing university. And I really hope that I see you all at Leicester. Take care. Thanks.